This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The drifters, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Welcome in our listeners to Rock 103, Fayetteville, North Carolina, there, Fort Bragg, and Rock 100.5, The Cat in Oklahoma City, in Oklahoma. Big show for you today. Lovely Taryn Daly's coming into Ryan Castle. We'll sit and spin today with the 10 highest paid musicians in the world, and we have some acronyms and medical slang coming up with the return of the word. And we've been talking about,
by the way, just real quick, you were talking about the medical slang. You brought that up at the top of the show. Someone just says, I'm a vet med. My hospital calls an erect penis lipstick.
Oh, hey, you're not off the hook either. I have a complete list of veterinary terms as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, like your dead dog.
Oh,
your
no.
dumb as F owner.
Oh, no.
Oh, trust me. If you want to get into that, well, we can do that as well. It's not. It's
I just put my dog down. I want to know what they called it, because they walk in and we know this is a time. Like, you don't have to kiss my ass, man. Let's go do what I goddamn came here for. You know what's up, man. I'm not an idiot. But I know as soon as that door closes, it's like, we got a stiffy coming.
Is Brent still on the line there?
Brent's not on the line.
Okay, I got a
anymore,
question.
man.
All right, just a hypothetical here. All right, let's assume that Brent and I go and he takes me on a date to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
All right.
Okay, now, I'm not saying a steak is not a steak. We know the price point on Ruth's Chris is a higher price point.
Sure.
On
Yeah.
dinner. Outback Steakhouse has a delicious steak, all right? Not the same price point as a night out at Ruth's Chris.
Mm-hmm.
There is a steakhouse that is below the Outback level, a few notches below. There's a few of them as far as how you tier things.
Bonanza?
And how much, and how much you pay for stuff, right?
Sizzler.
So okay, like, look. So Brent or Ted, maybe it's Ted. Ted takes me to Outback Steakhouse. Now, I love it, right? I have a bloomin' onion.
All right.
I get a steak.
Kookaburra wings?
Kookaburra wings, maybe.
Getting two apps?
I get the pumpernickel bread with the delicious butter they have. I don't know what they do with that butter, but it just kicks ass, right? And then I get my steak, and everything's wonderful. Maybe some Aussie cheese fries on the side. Don't know.
3 appetizers?
Well,
You took them on the date?
The steak is going to come with a potato option. I can pick what I want. I don't have to
All
go
right.
baked potato.
It's
I
Jesus,
can do
dude.
It's a
Aussie cheese
date.
fries.
You're hoping to get laid.
Right.
So
So,
you're
okay.
biting your
Now-
tongue. You don't care how
now-
much they order. You might in
now-
your head.
I would be shocked if
Okay.
she ordered 3 appetizers.
All right, now, but here's the thing, okay?
Did you not eat all day?
So we eat, we have a great time. I'll probably do a couple big Fosters and a mug, the whole deal.
Man, you're an easy ass day.
And I'm thinking, and you pick up the tab. Ted,
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm going to give Ted, I like Ted, I'm going to give Ted a little action, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to give him a little action.
Lucky
not all,
Ted.
Not all the action.
Sweet.
But I'm going to offer up a little of myself, okay? Now, if Ted takes me to Ruth's Chris,
Ruth's Chris, yeah.
Chris, right?
Yes.
Now the heat's really on. You know what I mean? Because, like,
Oh, Ted's
now,
getting played.
that's what I'm saying. Like, to me now, like, I got to be thinking to myself, all right, this is really good. This is like,
Gotta give
now
up
I
the
feel
ass.
like, man, it's going to have to go the whole way.
See, I'm the opposite.
You don't
it's
think
only,
so?
It's only happened to me a couple times.
All right.
So
See, I
now
feel like
I have a rule. Like, I got to be dating somebody before we go to, like, a high-end, steakhouse.
All right.
But twice I've done it, and I've screwed myself over.
How?
Because I was so excited that I even asked this girl out and got a date that I was like, we got to go big time. Right? First date, took her to, like, a high-end steakhouse and stuff, and then it was just kind of like it was no fun because she realized there was no chase, that I was just beyond happy, like, oh, yeah, I'll buy you whatever, like, blah, blah, blah. And it backfired.
No way.
It was the complete opposite. Instead of her feeling
You're
like,
so shallow, she saw right through you.
yeah. She was just like, oh, this guy will do whatever. Like, it killed it.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So where would you say to go on the first date? Because you go
Well-
high end, you make it too obvious, right?
Well, first you go out for drinks.
Sure. You want to loosen it up, man. Like,
What
come
else?
on.
Say
You never do
first-
coffee dates. Do
first-
you? Do coffee dates?
I've done a couple.
And no,
It's tough. Nobody's drinking.
They
Right,
suck,
you need booze,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
right?
thinking, like, this
Like-
whole idea sounds horrible because I hate coffee shop people.
It's like dating when you're not drinking. I've done
You're
that
just
too.
there for the free
It's
Wi-Fi.
awkward.
They're mooching on Wi-Fi. I know what they're doing.
No, I mean, I like to go get drinks first with somebody.
Sure.
And then set up a proper dinner.
Okay.
So then, depending on how the drinks go, that's generally, I don't know. I used to have a rule of like 3 places near where I lived. So, like,
What, you do it in order?
yeah, I mean,
Why, did it just seem like the natural progression?
So what was it, like the bar, a restaurant,
What's it,
and what?
No, I
Like,
bet
what
it's
are your-
pizza first, right?
no, there was just a couple bars that had good food and
Okay.
one that was a little bit cheaper.
All right. Did you go to the cheaper one?
Sometimes, yes.
Depending on what you thought the date might end. Like, would you still lean that Ruth Chris philosophy on it? Like, if she was really, really hot, you would have never taken her to the cheap place, right?
Right,
You're still going to the better bars.
There was a system.
What happened to the system?
I'm saying you go out for drinks, and then the next time, depending on how the drinks went, you got to figure out is
Sorry,
this
go
going
ahead.
somewhere? Am I just trying to hook up or blah blah blah?
Okay.
And then because then you got to be careful too, because some of the restaurants and bars you go to a lot.
And then they recognize you and they say, hi.
Is this the same girl you were here with last time?
Right?
And you go,
Or they
"No."
just naturally ask questions like, "Oh, is this a thing?" And it's like, "Oh no, I'm just trying to get laid."
It's my regular table.
Right? That's what's like. I got to go to a different bar.
I just want to have sex, man.
The
Come
system
on.
failed me.
Trying. Mention blank question. I know I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How you guys doing today?
Doing good, Dave. How are you, man?
Well, I'm living somebody's dream.
Okay.
Stay positive. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody's having a good day.
So how would you have more money?
If the 80s would have passed me by.
If the 80s had passed you by?
Yeah.
I'm guessing cocaine. Is that the root of this?
Oh, maybe a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave, it was a different era then as far as the stigma to cocaine. It seemed like that it was more free-flowing. It was more available. Like, you would never go to a party now and someone would break out cocaine and put it on a table if you didn't know everybody who was in the room
Sure.
and knew what was going on. But in the 80s, man, you could go anywhere, and it wasn't that pretty prevalent. I was too young, but wasn't it pretty prevalent?
Oh, it was everywhere. You couldn't go. Yeah, that was the in thing, man. There's more in than weed.
Yeah, now I would think even when George Bush, he said oh, sure, I've tried coke. You know what I mean? Like, I've
Damn
smoked weed.
straight.
It just seems
Give
like
me a little bump here and there.
if you were just anywhere in that decade, there would be no wave that you didn't cross paths with it. Not that you did it, but it was always available.
Yeah.
It was there all the time.
It was there all the time. Everybody I knew did it, and I would have had a whole lot more money if I wouldn't have found that stuff.
But
How much do you think? How much are you spending a week?
Hey, I don't know. Do you guys ever remember seeing the commercial where the guy's doing he's pretending to do blow and the car's going up his nose and the house is going up his nose?
No, I never saw that one.
Oh man, that was big in the '80s, and it's showing all this stuff. Well, I watched my house and my new car and my boat and all of it. Tens of thousands of dollars.
How much coke were you doing, man? Like in the course of a week, how much money were you dropping on blow?
Oh man, probably averaging between 15 and $2,000.
Damn.
So you basically went a decade without having an erection.
I went a decade without having anything, man. I didn't feel anything. I didn't eat anything. I was pretty numb.
How's your septum?
I'm fine now.
You're good to go. Okay.
How long's it been since you've done coke?
1989.
All right. You better
Damn,
make
you
sure.
literally took it through the
Yeah.
decades. All right, it's the
I
90s
took it
now.
through-
You better make sure that Juan's wife doesn't call up and find out where you're lying there, you know.
I took it through the decade. The 90s hit. I left the state. I was in
Oh, I hear you.
Colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Yes, it is. Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah, the 80s. Man, you know what? I was born in 69, man. And, as a teenager when the 80s hit, it's like, it was a great time to be alive just based on what we thought we were going to step into, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're like 14, 15, 16 years old, and man, everything seemed really, really good. People are doing blow. People are having sex with freaking supermodels. Like, it was just a thing, man. It was almost like the late 60s came back. It's all about drugs and sex, right? And as a young man, and I'm like, man, I cannot wait to turn 18 because, like, everything was a party everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everything. And
When
then
you
AIDS
watch-
hit. And I'm telling you, man, when
you watch-
it was, you want to talk about the most crippling thing you've ever heard, because no one had ever heard of anything remotely like AIDS, right? Like, herpes was the thing you wanted to avoid. Mm-hmm. That was the scariest thing. And man, once they introduced AIDS to the world and they explained what was going on with that, and the sex dried up and the coke went away, it just kind of sucked. I'm like, man, it's like I'm 2 years too young, dude. I could have been a part of that.
Oh, no,
I missed all the good parties.
If you look at Miami, the city that was built on this,
built on coke, yeah,
and it was in the 80s, and one of the major players in Miami, donors, whatever, was like, you know what, man, I went to University of Miami. Let's get a real football team, and so they put all this money in, all this money from their stuff, and I think they got like Howard Schembechler or something.
Somebody.
They hired this big time coach, and they said, you know what, even though this is a teeny tiny little school, we got all this cash now, man. We got all this money. Let's like have a good football program. And then they hired after that not Dennis Erickson. I'm sorry, they hired Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yep.
I always said Barry Switzer.
But I mean, they started to recruit. And all those teams that went through the U and all that stuff.
Sure.
They started to recruit the city.
Yeah, and the whole
the
whole city was basically just kind of built on this infrastructure of money that came from one industry, and that was the industry at the time.
Miami owes any success it has to cocaine, and I don't think, and even the people that live there are pretty open about it. I mean, they're like, look, man, drug dealers are drug dealers, and people have their opinion of them, et cetera, et cetera. There's all the violence that goes with it, but you talk to Miami natives, they're like, look. If Miles is a big drug dealer, we know that what he's doing is illegal. We know he's probably responsible for shooting this person, that person. But on the other hand, he also built 15 elementary schools. And he got a street paved. Mm-hmm. And he got the church restored and all this stuff. So they're like, look, I mean, we don't care. We don't ask questions. We're making the money from this. And Miami, I mean, it blew up specifically because of cocaine.
There's a reason the town
but you start
doesn't
having
go to sleep.
slayings of people in malls and stuff like that. Like,
right. Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, nobody really cared. Everybody was on the take. But then after a while, it's just like, all right.
It got too out of hand.
Right? What's the infamous one? The War Wagon or something?
Right.
That, like, slaughtered 4 people at a mall and then had all these weapons and stuff in there.
Or they're, like, driving down the highway, like, openly firing on each other.
All
it's
right,
like, okay,
we've crossed the
God,
line.
We've given you a lot of leeway, but you can't do that.
There's a few cities out there that run pretty fast. Las Vegas, there's a reason it's a city that never sleeps.
Sure.
And it's not the all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet.
No, they know.
Which is kind of an irony.
That doesn't help.
All you can eat. We know you're on coke.
I'm not hungry at all, man. I'm just sweating. Is it hot in here?
Is it just me?
Golly. Mention a blank question. I know I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen. 844-999-OLA. Hold the line, more of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Stay tuned. The lovely Taryn Daly is in for Ryan Castle. We will sit and spin today with the 10 highest paid musicians in the world. It's coming up right after emails on our question. And it's a Men's Room blank question today. I know I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Brian. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
How you guys doing today?
Good, Brian. How are you, man?
I'm doing excellent. I'm out of work already.
Well, good for you.
Sorry to rub it in, guys.
Okay.
So, the thing that I spent the most money on, or what I actually lost my money on, would have to be Bitcoin, if you guys know what that is.
Yeah, I know what Bitcoin is, but so cryptocurrency, as it were. Did you make money on this or lose money on this?
I should be a millionaire right now at the age of 21. So when it first started, I was working as a kid for neighbors, and I would save up money for these Bitcoins, and I saved up about 100 of them. And when I paid for them, they were about maybe $5 a piece.
Okay.
Right? And now, estimating they're $15,000 a piece.
And what did you sell them?
I sold mine when they hit 200 because I didn't think it was ever going to get back up there again. I was like, holy crap.
What did you cash out at?
What I cash out?
Yeah, how much money did you get at 200 apiece?
At 200 apiece, that'd be $2,000.
All right. Well, look, man, either way, you came out ahead. I know it's not what it could have been.
Especially when you look right now, for sure.
But you didn't lose money.
So what exactly just happened with...
It would have been $1.5 million compared to the $2,000 I did when I cashed out.
See, man, now look, I'm going to give you some advice, and it's much easier said than done. But as I've gotten older, what I realize is don't ever do the math. Once you do the math on what you could have had versus what you got out of something, I've only ever sensed frustration.
Do you remember what you did? Do you remember what you did with that $2,000?
I kind of paid for a car, went a little towards my Africa trip, if you guys remember the story from before.
Yeah.
Yep. Just pretty much it just dwindled away really quickly.
What kind of car did you get?
I actually only got what was it? It was a Plymouth Duster.
You know what? That's awesome, man. You could be a millionaire, but instead you have a Plymouth Duster.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, wow.
Dreams do come true.
They really do. Thank you. Do they even make Plymouth anymore? Or is it all just...
I don't know.
Because, I mean, it's Dodge or it's Jeep or it's Chrysler, but is Plymouth even one of their lines?
I think it might be done.
They might have Oldsmobiled that out, right?
What are the ones that went
heard
away?
of Plymouth in a while.
Oldsmobile, Plymouth,
Pontiac,
Saturn,
Pontiac for sure, man. That's gone.
Yeah, that's gone.
Well, the thing is, like, look, with those cars, there's always going to be one car that's a great car out of the lot.
Sure.
So just because you're Chevrolet doesn't mean you should not or could not make just a Pontiac Firebird. You don't have to release the whole line. I don't need the Grand Dam and all that crap. Just like the one iconic car that they had, they could still make that car.
Was Pontiac Chevy?
Oh, yeah. General Motors.
Right.
Buick,
yeah.
Oldsmobile,
Okay.
all those. I mean, I don't know if there's an Oldsmobile you'd want, but I mean, there's some other lines. You might maybe want to keep one of the cars.
And for that guy, like, he went to Africa. He was that age. Like, that's not the worst story. Right now, it sucks.
Yeah, to do the math right now.
Worth so much.
Yeah, we climbed Kilimanjaro. That would probably be worth it.
That's right, he did, right? If I remember the story right.
I told a story because I have a buddy that has some crypto, and he was kind of in the same. And I told him when I was a senior in high school, my summer job, I saved up some money and bought into this crazy weird thing called Cisco Systems, right? Which
Good idea.
Right
At the time,
At the
sure.
time, I still thought of Cisco was just doing condiments and stuff. But anyhow, it went up a little bit. I sold it. I went to prom. Obviously, Cisco Systems is a massive thing now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why investments are gambling.
No, they are.
You just don't know.
97, 98 or something like that. I put a bunch of money into a company called I bought two, VA Linux and Red Hat. And I had them for a little while, and I spent like $5 on them. Whatever. My brother's like, "What are you buying?" And I'm like, "I'm just buying a bunch of crap. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing." And he's like, "Well, give me a tip." I'm like, "I don't have a tip." He's like, "What'd you buy?" I was like, "I bought this and this." So he bought Red Hat. Well, he kept it and held it, and that paid for both of his kids' college funds.
Damn.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
And he bought the same amount I did. Like, it was just one of those things where I was.
What
like,
are they?
Did you cash yours out, or did you just change it?
No, I basically probably sold it and then bought something else that I thought was going to make me money instead of just sitting there and
Yeah.
And then losing it all. It was one of those things where whatever the first, what was the first you could get online? Was it E-Trade or one of those kind of companies?
Something like
that. I just had
that,
an
yeah.
online E-Trade account. My purchases were like $40, $50. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was
Rolling deep.
But I'm buying $3 or $4 stock. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, oh man, I got 20 shares. You know?
Yeah.
The next time I'd buy it, I'd buy 20 more or whatever the deal was. But I had a bunch of it. Then I just, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just going to sell this stuff.
What is Red Hat?
It's, man, it's like an internal, I don't know. I want to say it's basically like a system as far as people are losing their mind right now in the world of computers.
I'm sure. They're
Probably.
screaming at the radio explaining
I think it's I don't know. They make operating systems.
Oh.
I think it's an operating system, but I've never used it, so I don't know. Or maybe I have and don't know. Answer a blank question. I know I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Josie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi.
Hola.
I married a techie. He spends a lot more money than any woman ever could.
Does he justify it every time he buys something? No, but babe, this is the latest blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no, he'll either justify it or pretend it didn't happen. Try to do it while I'm at work. I work part-time weekends at a local fast food joint to try to help make ends meet because I'm a stay-at-home mom. And so he'll wait till I'm at work making a few bucks an hour to go buy those brand new surround sound speakers. Or this past couple of weeks, it was a new smartphone. He does these things when I'm gone.
How much money is he spending?
He spent $1,400 on our last TV, and that was when we could have saved money and bought a new washer. The kids need school clothes. Every chance he gets, every bit of money we get, it's got to go to the...
Look, you look like ass, kids, but you know what? Look at the size of this picture. We're going to watch a movie in style tonight.
Yeah, and I got that new smartphone to take pictures of you in your ratty clothes.
Where did you meet this guy? Like an audio video store?
Oh, no. Actually, I was, kind of, yeah, Circuit City.
Jeez.
That's what I just asked you. That's what I just asked you, Josie. Right?
I know.
You literally met him at a Circuit City.
Look, I've known 5 of those people in my life. Okay.
Super tech guys?
No, well, it's just more gear. So it's not really, when I think super tech, I think like you've got like the latest iPad, the latest iPhone, all this,
Right.
whatever it is, like on that end of the world. This is more audio visual from what I'm gathering from you. So basically, if there
it
is,
extends to our cars too.
if there is,
no.
He's a mechanic too.
so if there's a 5.1 stereo, next year they'll put a 6.1 in,
Right.
which means one more speaker. So every time they do this, like eventually you've got this circular system of speakers surrounding everything you've got. And I've got a buddy who will upgrade on all this stuff. The bigger the TV, the better. Whatever the
Always, right.
technology is as far as being able, and not so much anymore because it's all digital now, but any kind of separate player he would upgrade to buy into, whatever that was.
Of
like
course.
a super duper 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 Blu-ray. And then he'd buy all the damn movies with it.
Super duper 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 Blu-ray.
Right, you know what I mean? Not just the regular
Only at
Blu-ray.
Walmart.
Yes,
Super
exactly.
duper duper duper
But he would buy the
Dude, it's
highest
so blue,
end,
it's almost purple.
yeah, the highest end crap that you could possibly get.
Hey, Josie, what fast food joint do you work at?
Taco time.
Taco.
Oh,
Good,
yeah.
Fresh taco time.
Taco time is one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
All right,
man.
what
Yeah.
do you make for yourself? That's really what I want to know.
I know what I make.
I really love the fish sauce taco and those coconut shrimp things they have this summer.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
those.
I'm a big fan of the chicken soft taco there with the order of Mexi fries.
Mm-hmm. Or the crispy fried burritos.
Yeah. Nah, I like the burritos. Yeah, I got too much rice.
I don't know if they're doing burritos now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or deep fried.
Their tacos.
Their crisp
soft,
burrito doesn't have rice in it.
Their soft shell tacos are so damn big, it's like a burrito.
Good, man.
It's unbelievable.
He's right,
It's
dude.
so good, man. I mean, like, you only need one. I mean,
Yeah.
how often do you go to a Mexican fast
get
food
a
place
taco?
and get one thing? And that's
Some
basically-
people are getting a burrito and saving that taco for a couple hours later.
Yeah, well, you could do that, but you just can't eat it all.
That
Some
person's
people
name
are.
is probably Ted.
Exactly.
If I had to guess.
I know I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen. 844-999-OLA.
Didn't just do it 2 nights ago.
It's good stuff.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up? So I spent too much money in the late 90s, early 2000s on Coke, and then it was kids.
From Coke to Kid.
Did one lead
Coke
to the other?
kids.
Like, were you all coked up one night, hooked up with a chick, and boom, you got a kid?
No, I actually got off the Coke, then hooked up with the chick, then boom, it was kids, then 4 kids later. Yeah.
4 kids?
Yeah.
Damn,
Well,
man.
you gave up one habit and you picked up another.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
What are their ages right now?
Range oldest is 14 to 3 is the youngest.
Okay.
Dang.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. She might not be, but I can't make any more.
Oh, so you went in and you got taken care of.
Yeah.
That was probably a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Now, what was it?
After the 4th kid, yeah.
Were all these intentional or what? I mean, or did it was the accidental? What was the deal?
Not intentional on my part. But,
Well, so what? Are
yeah.
you really bad? I mean, are you just having a hard time? I mean, like what? Like we're. I mean,
Is it the same woman?
Yeah, it's the same woman.
okay. And you
We've
just
been married for 16 years now, yeah.
were you just weren't
She's
using,
awfully fertile.
you weren't using protection at the time, I guess.
No, yes and no. I mean, it was like birth control, miss a pill, birth control, miss a pill, you know.
Okay. Yeah, look, man, just like anything else, I would have a very difficult time remembering to take something every day.
Right? I don't blame her one
No,
bit.
I mean, like anything else, it's not. I can see fault in that.
It's one of the inherent beauties of a condom, though, which is just, you don't put it on now and then hope something happens. Because I would forget to put it on if I knew, like, hey, put this on when you get up in the morning, and then maybe you get laid. But in the moment that you're about to get laid, it's like,
From what I can remember
you're
about
like, hang on.
From what I
Got
can
no
remember
problem.
about sex is that like like you want to have the
I
sex,
remember.
and you hope it goes for a certain amount of time, but there's also a point in time where you would like to go to sleep.
Sure.
And when you put that condom on, you're basically guaranteeing that it's going to take a lot longer for you to be able to fall asleep. It's a longer process. It's like when you see a movie that you want to rent that's an hour and 15, you go, oh man, I think I can make it through this. And then you see another movie that you really want to see and realize that it's like 2:45, and you're like, man, you know what? I'll probably fall asleep by the end of this.
But
I
the
don't think
difference
I can
is,
get there.
the movie's really good. Like, if waiting to go to sleep means I have to have sex, I'm like, no worries.
No, I'm right
So
there
if
with
I
you.
go to bed 20 minutes late, it's because I had 20 minutes of extra sex.
It's true.
I think things were going well for me at that point.
Yet I think some people just get in their own heads. You know, like I think it's sex a lot of times. Like you could not perform at the highest level if it's in your head that you're already whatever. And I think the same thing with condoms. As a single person, you got to use condoms. So
Oh, sure.
I'm pro condom, but If it's taking that much longer, I'm like, man, you guys get out of your own head. Like, they design those things pretty awesome these days.
They do.
See, that's the thing, though. At the moment you need the condom, you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the downside is just so massive. Right? You're talking about diseases, unwanted pregnancies. Like, the downside is huge.
Yeah.
Big downside.
Just put on a condom.
Right, I'm just saying, like, it's the opposite of, like, a player you're drafted with an upside.
Men's room, a blank question. I know I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Juan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Hello.
Y'all know what I spent the money on.
How much?
In 5 years, probably like 60 grand.
So about $1,000 a month on blow.
Yeah.
And Juan, I gotta guess that the stuff that you were getting at the time, like
That's some pure S.
Right, like it would be cut 9 times by the time it would get to someone like me. So I'm guessing that the value of this was probably a little bit higher.
No, it's not for me.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure you probably got pretty good stuff.
No, yeah, we were getting about 93 to 88%.
Damn.
Okay.
When's the last time you've done coke? I'm going to guess New Year's
December.
December and New Year's Eve. Okay. All right.
This New Year's.
That's why he loves the holidays.
So you plan on doing coke this coming New Year's Eve?
Yeah, this New Year's.
All right. And you suppose, like, I saw where they got they busted a submarine outside of Texas.
Oh, yeah?
Did you, yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Juan, they caught one of the submarines coming across.
That's not good.
No, it's not. It's amazing ingenuity to me, though, that a bunch of guys could say, you know what, let's build a submarine and sail it across the Gulf of Mexico, and we'll deliver coke in it.
Hey, do you guys all have passports?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, party is at Mexico this year, though.
I'll be sure to do that, man.
Yeah,
I'll be sure to do that.
Juan, sure.
God, I was being in Mexico, and I'm smoking a cigarette, and they have a thing called a pulmonia. Basically, it's like a revved up golf car, right? Gets you from one place to the other. And I get in, and the guy's like, do you smoke the marijuana? I'm like, well, yeah, man. I mean, I do, but, I'm in a foreign country, but I don't even know where to begin. Pulls out his phone, calls his wife, okay? So we go off the beaten path. Keep in mind, it's just this gas-powered golf car. And he's going like maybe 40 miles an hour. And now we get kind of off like the beaten path, and now we're in a residential neighborhood. And there's kids playing, all this stuff. And I see him looking kind of to his right, the passenger side. And I realize, okay, we're pulling up to his house. And there have to be 20 people standing outside, maybe. And like I said, kids playing, whatever. And his wife, man, she has an old styrofoam Big Mac container from McDonald's. And then when he drives by, he slows down a little bit. She throws this thing, and it lands in the passenger seat. Okay, so, I mean, it's like you don't even stop. Like, this thing lands, and has a rubber band around it. We keep driving. And I'm like, this can't be for real, man. And he pulls it open and he's like, here's your marijuana, man. I'm like, this is money.
They need that.
This is fantastic.
They need that in the U.S.
Like
you know what I mean? Like, you can drive up in a golf cart, pick it up, man.
And you don't even stop. I mean, we literally blew by his house. There's his wife. Very nice-looking lady, as best I can tell, man.
Uber drugs.
Yeah, Uber drugs. He may have visited me later with some stuff.
That's what I mean, Uber drugs.
Hey, man, what else do you like?
I'm giving this guy 5 stars. Bam.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Overall drug experience?
Great.
Fantastic.
Men's room blank question. I knew I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen.
You know what? I'm going to leave a tip.
Oh, absolutely.
5
man.
spot,
He got
boom.
tipped up. Yeah. Hello, Pete. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, I would save more money if I hadn't gotten married the first time.
The first time. How much money did you lose? Is this from the divorce or during the course of the marriage?
During the course of the marriage, because when I got married, I was blinded by love because she had 2 children from her first husband.
That always gets them.
Yes, and he was supposed to be paying $1,700 a month in child support.
Okay.
So I figured, okay, this is good. But then after I married her, her ex stopped paying child support. So over the course of me raising her 2 children, he was behind about $125,000.
Did he stop because you moved in, or did he stop because he didn't have the money anymore?
No, he stopped because she got married to me.
That doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yep.
I mean,
So
not legally.
He was behind 125, and she wouldn't take him to court because she was, quote, afraid of him for logistical legal reasons.
All right.
But
So
it gets better.
how long did you raise the
So-
kids for? Their entire life?
Right, no, just up through when they were both turned 18, her two children.
Yeah.
How long
And
were you
then
with her?
During our marriage, we had a child, a son, and then after I found out that she had been having an affair with one of her old boyfriends from high school, I decided to get a divorce. But during the divorce, my child support I pay is $3,800 a month.
For one child?
For one child. So if you add up the $125,000 plus whatever you do the math is for about 7 years of $3,800 a month, I'd be a rich guy.
Are you already rich, though, with that kind of payment?
No. I'm retired Army.
That seems like an awfully steep payment, man,
that
for a
is
month.
huge, man.
That is a lot of money. I know I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen. 844-999-OLA. Hold the line. More your calls on the way. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Not that it's the biggest deal to 50 Cent. I accidentally broke $1,000 worth of DJ equipment during a nightclub performance Saturday night. A source says he jumped from a speaker to a VIP table and then to the top of the DJ booth, and he landed right on top of the mixer. It was replaced. The show continued. Supposedly, he offered to cover the damages, but the club's owner let him off the hook. Said, yeah, it's all right. You're 50 cents. Anybody else did that, man, you'd be kicked out. You'd be sued. You'd have to pay $1,000.
But you know he can cover it, man.
Yeah.
You know, they could tell me, like, hey, man, you owe us $1,000. Like, that's probably going to stay that way for a long time. It's 50 Cent.
Yeah, and you got to be rich to act that way anyhow.
Right, to jump from, he jumped from wherever he was to a VIP table.
To a VIP table, then onto the mixer.
Right, like, you have to be 50 Cent to do that.
Mm-hmm. And he's
because, again, and then you break the DJ equipment and you're off the hook. If we had done any one of those things, we are physically thrown out of that club, right?
But those guys that have a lot of money, man, whether you're a musician, whether you're an actor, whether you're, whatever the hell you are, an athlete, the amount of money, and even if it's like Ben Affleck playing blackjack or poker or whatever he's doing, if you just knew how much money was lost or won from a night of partying or one VIP night or one I'm going to get on a Learjet night. I mean, I can't even imagine the total cost of just one weekend of what some of those guys do and spend.
And the amazing thing is how much money they make versus how little they have to spend, right? So obviously they're going to spend a lot on their house and their clothes and they do this, but like when they go out, because it's Ben Affleck, in spite of the fact that he's a multimillionaire, it's on the house.
Right.
And James Hetfield from Metallica, he said this years ago, but he's like, look, man, when Metallica first got together, we're a bunch of zitty teenage kids, right? And we can barely afford any equipment at all, but you put everything you've got into buying your equipment. Finally, we get signed. We put out Master of Puppets, and we become this monumentally large band. He's like, now I have more money than I know what to do with. And suddenly, Gibson Guitars is like, hey, it's all free. It's on the house. And he's like, I don't need your effing free S now, man. He's like, I can afford to buy a goddamn guitar. He's like, why don't you hook up the bands where they don't have money? So one of the things he's done, Gibson would give him 12 guitars a year or something for a while, and he would take it to underprivileged kids or to schools that actually teach guitar. And I'm like, that's cool. Because he's like, man, I don't need a free guitar when I'm a millionaire. He's like, when you're broke putting your band together, that's when I could have used a few free guitars.
But I'm always shocked to find out what people make, and I guess I just have I don't understand it, and how you make that money in Hollywood. But Casey Affleck, I think he's going through a separation, or he's going something where at least his financial documents were made public.
Yeah.
Based on child support or spousal support or whatever the deal is. And last year he had, what was it, Manchester by the Sea? Was that the movie that he was in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty critically acclaimed movie.
Very critically acclaimed. And then I wanted to watch it
as well.
until I read about it, and then I said, I believe it's good.
I heard it's depressing.
I don't feel like being depressed.
I haven't seen it. But
He says it's depressing.
last year he made $400,000. I figured this guy made
$400,000.
I figured he made millions and
That's what he
millions and
made.
millions of dollars
No.
being a movie star.
No kidding.
But he made $400,000 last year, and I just thought to myself, well, I don't understand.
Meanwhile, his brother is in some flop right now with the Justice League thing.
And probably
Plays
made-
and I mean, dude just pulled in like $15-20 million.
I know I'd have a hell of a lot more money if blank didn't happen. 844-999-OLA.
Critics like movies. They probably don't pay the best. You win awards.
Isn't that neverly what it is? Like when you watch,
Yeah.
I don't know, the Golden Globes or the Academy Awards, like the people that are up for like Best Actor, Best Actress, like the movies they're telling you about, like you have heard of the movies, but you know that you're never going to watch it, and it only played in 7 theaters.
Yeah.
Still to come, lovely Taryn Daly is in for Ryan Castle. We will sit and spin on the way with the 10 highest paid musicians in the world. That's coming up.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.